So we know by seeing the calculator what it is going to perform. But in the keyboard of your smartphone or your laptop or your desktop, the keyboard have lot of other buttons as well. Similarly to the calculator, it have 1 2 3 4. It have it have plus minus, and also it have ABCD. Now what is the meaning of ABCD? There is a caps lock button, there is a shift button, there is a tab button, there is a space bar. What is the meaning of this ABCD XYZ? You do not know. Definitely you will not know. I also don't know. Why I don't know? Because this system depends upon the manufacturer who has manufactured the internal circuit, internal motherboard, like the keyboard, like the your calculator. The manufacturer who has manufactured the calculator. Basically, there are few company that manufacture calculator. Casio is one company who manufacture calculator. So in the circuit, what the connection they are doing, it is we know it that plus means it will do plus, minus means it will do minus. There is no confusion. But computer, there are many manufacturers of computer, like you have the IBM, you have Intel, you have Apple company, Intel, AMD. These are some of the companies that develop the internal motherboard of the computer, and that is called the hardware of the computer. In this particular diagram, can you see the hardware? Hardware means something that is very physically you can touch, which is you can see with your eyes. That is called the hardware. Your keyboard is the hardware. Your keyboard is hardware because you can touch it. Your electronic circuit of the laptop is a hardware because the electronic circuit you can touch it. Of course, there is a plastic casing so that it does not accumulate dust and dirt. That's why the plastic casing is given. But once you open the casing, you can touch that particular electronic circuit. So it's called hardware. So this every computer have a different set of hardware. That is why when you press the button A, what will be having? What will be going on? You will say that, sir, in the screen A will come. If I write in now, that is definitely correct. If you press A in the screen, A will come. If you press B in the screen, B will come. That is correct. But there is one more level on this. When you press A and B together, these two letters together make one another instruction. Like in the calculator, when you press plus button, you get the addition. When you press the minus button, you get the you get the subtraction. In the computer, if you press the A, then the computer screen print the A. Then if you press the B, in the computer screen B will come. Then it may happen, depend upon computer to computer, not in all computer, that A and B together make one instruction and the computer will start to perform certain operation. For example, if you write A, for example, if you like here I will show you one screen. Here what I will do is I have to display the list of files. For example, I this is a blank screen. Here you can see a blank screen. Now I type L S. What I am typing? L and S. Nothing has happened. If I press the L, L has come. If I press the S, S has come. Now if I now give a enter, you see something will happen. Okay, so L and S is the name for list. List, list. List means it will show the list of the file in the computer. So it depends upon from computer to computer what that particular thing is going to perform, that particular instruction is going to perform. So therefore you need to give the electron a direction. You cannot fix the direction, that if I do A and B, like in calculator, if you have the plus, you can give the direction from before. How to give direction to the electron? Just connect a wire from the plus button to the circuit where addition is going to happen. So that connection is now done. There is no short in the connection. That particular, you can take a copper wire, like you can understand, no, electronic connection, so you can make connection. But when you write like this is called software. Software means hardware, you understand, that is something which is the electronic circuit, and this is the software, that you writing the code. When you writing typing something and some happens only when you type something. Typing means it is not like pressing the button. Now pressing the button and typing is both different. Pressing the button means if you press one button, one thing will happen. Like if you press off button, computer will off. If you press a mute button, computer will mute. Like that. That is called a button. But typing means a long composition of many things. You type a letter, you type a word, you type a character. So typing means pressing a button means you press one button, so one thing will happen. On button, so like that. So calculator, you cannot type in the calculator. You can press button in calculator, but in computer you can type, and when you type, combination of what you type will do many things. Like here, if I have shown you the example. In this particular system, if you type L and S together, it show you the list of files that are there in the system, that are there stored in the system. So that's why we are that's why there should be one way or the other to know how to give direction to the beam of electron, so that when you press button and when you press the enter, the function will be performed only when you press the enter. So when you press A, immediately nothing will happen. When you press B, then also nothing will happen. But after writing A and B together, when you press enter button, then something happen after press the enter. So that means the computer should be able to decide that what to do, whether to do A or whether to do B or whether to do A and B together. This particular is called decision making system. So computer can make decisions. Computer can make decisions based upon what is typed in the system. To make this decision, when we make a decision, either we do or we don't do. In our personal life, when we make a decision that I am going to attend this class, yes or no, either there will be two results. Either you going to do, or are you not going to do. Similarly, when the computer take decision, it also have two outcome, whether it is going to perform or it's not going to perform. So that's why you always require to give direction to the electron beam, so that if the computer do not want to do a performance, it will send the electron beam to other direction to perform other job, other circuit. And if the computer decide to do certain operation, it will give the electron beam another direction. Because the electron beam used in first generation is a vacuum tube, some improvement is made in the second generation using the transistor. So from your higher secondary you remember the transistor. It's a small electronic component where two types of transistor, PNP and NPN transistor, are there. So this kind of transistor help a connection to give direction. You can direct the electron flow either from base emitter collector or collector emitter base. So we are not doing those things, but just so that you will understand. So transistor was used in second generation. Concept of the computer remains the same, to give direction to the electron beam, but instead of vacuum tube now transistor is used. So as you can see, vacuum tube is very huge in size, it consumes lot of electricity. Vacuum tubes and transistors, you must have seen transistors transistors in your physics experiment in your high secondary. Very small black color NPN PNP transistor. Three legs are coming out of that electronic component. So it is a, reliable. It is smaller in size. It generates less heat. It's consume less electricity. It is faster than the first generation. It is AC is required, and still it was very costly because because of the lot of understanding deep. Means in normal people cannot use the computer up to second generation. It is very much advanced level for that generation. So second generation of computer was developed in 1952 and it was used in till 1964. So very specialized person only can use computers, not available for general public like we are using today. That is the second generation. Similarly, you go on third generation. Third generation is much advanced. IC was used. IC is another electronic component advanced than a transistor. IC means integrated circuit. Integrated circuit is a black color long electronic component, rectangle shape. In the left hand side and right hand side, few steel pins, legs. It is like a caterpillar. Legs are coming out from left hand side, right hand side. Left hand side maybe 50 to 100 legs, right hand side maybe 50 to 100 legs, and it's a black color long rectangular electronic component. It is called IC. So one IC can contain many number of transistor. So the size of the transistor got reduced. So since the size of the transistor we remember that black color electronic component used in second generation, that size if you reduce, then you can put inside a IC many transistors. That was the technology used in third generation. Because of that improvement, computer became more reliable, computer became smaller in size, it generated less heat, computer became faster, lesser maintenance was required. Still computer was costly at that time, AC was required. So AC is required because if you have seen yourself that in your house if you use the laptop for more than 2-3 hours, laptop generate lot of heat. To maintain that heat, AC is put in the room so that the system does not generate much heat. If much heat is generated, then the internal component may get destroyed. Some computers have own cooling system. Some advanced high end computers have own cooling system. Without AC, it does not generate much heat. But otherwise, AC was required. Consume less electricity. Support high level language. These are some of the advantages of means features of third generation system, third generation computer. Then coming to fourth generation. In the fourth generation, the same IC that is written here, IC, became much smaller, and many IC together can be put into one IC. It's called VLSI. You have heard of this term, VLSI, very large scale integrated circuit. So VLSI is a technology where many IC can be put together. Many IC can be put together into one small rectangular electronic component. So you see how technology is evolving from vacuum technology to transistor technology to IC technology, and we are in the fourth generation after 40 years from the first generation. Here you are using the VLSI. VLSI means many IC together put into one electronic component called a VLSI. So as technology is getting increasing more and more, it is cost is also reducing, so very cheap. Now these computers became very cheap. The cost of production of the ICs was much reduced because you have to develop smaller components. Because when you develop smaller components, when you develop a big component, then much time is required. When you develop a small component, very less time is required, so more components can be manufactured. If more components are manufactured, more demand is required, more supply will be there. So definitely when supply is more, demand is more, many components can be produced in one day, so definitely price of the system reduces. When demand is more, supply is also more, price will be reduces, and when supply is less, demand is more, price will be increased. So that's why systems were first very quickly the computer became very cheap. It was able to be afforded by normal person. Then it became portable and reliable. Portable and reliable means it can move it, you can carry it from one place to another. uh, it became smaller in size. Some pipeline processing, some concepts of programming concept, this is just if you can remember, it is good. Then no AC is needed. No AC is needed because less heat is required, less heat is generated, because the IC was many IC is put together into one VLSI. So when you have to travel small distance, small energy is required. When you have to travel long distance, long energy, much energy is required. So if many IC is together put into one electronic component, so to travel the signal from one component to another, less amount of electric voltage is required, so less amount of energy is required. Definitely then less amount of heat is also generated in the IC, because very small amount of electricity will be sufficient to travel the connection from one component to other, because all are put into one VLSI. So the size of the system in when decreases, lot of other good things happen. Internet was introduced when the period of fourth generation started. So the fourth generation started basically from 1970 onwards, 1970 to 1990. This is the time of the VLSI. And finally the fifth generation, 1990 ULSI. This is the ultra large scale integrated. Ultra large scale means your when the development of cordless phone, your development of your handheld devices, your PDA, your laptops, those things, when it started, it was the ULSI. Now ULSI means ultra large scale, means much smaller. That is why even the smallest mobile phone also nowadays you can do your lot of things. You can do, you can watch movie, you can record video, you can browse internet. That is the only possible because the electronic components are getting smaller and smaller, as they are getting smaller and smaller, they can be produced in very high large scale. Since they are produced in very large scale, the cost it reduces. So in less amount of money, you are getting more amount of efficiency. So this is always going to be true. There is a rule in computer that's called the Moore's law, that technology will always getting cheaper and cheaper, and performance will always go higher and higher. That is the rule that was given by scientist Moore very early, around 1950 or something. It is called Moore's law. So as the technology, now we are using smartphone, so in future we do not know, even now much smaller than smartphone have come. You can your wristband, okay, you can wear in your hand. It's such a, it's like a your it's like a bangle, like, you know, it's, you cannot say that some smart device means no one will be able to tell that that is a phone, but actually if you can spend money 50-60,000, you can get a phone that you can wear in your hand. No one will know that that is a mobile phone, and you can do all your things. You can Bluetooth, and you can just connect your headphone, and there will be Google voice support, and using your voice command you can switch on your wristband. It will measure your, you can send, you can receive call, you can make call, you can send SMS, you can read SMS, you can connect to Wi-Fi, you can browse internet. Many things are there that you can do, and uh, some of these, they can even project your screen onto a wall. That particular device that you wear in your hand, that particular smartphone that you wear in your hand, it, if you can project it, then you can also able to project it. That is no monitor in the hand, so we project it on the wall. Then in the wall you get the, in the wall you get the monitor, and by touching the wall itself, now no need of touch screen. That is the level of technology has come. You can project your screen on the wall, and by touching the wall itself, you can give instruction, and you can know, like what we are doing the touch screen. Instead of the touch screen, any device, any surface, you can project the screen, and when you touch the surface, the mobile phone responds. So that is the level of technology is evolving. So that is about the generation of computers. This I hope it will be, it has been useful for you. And nextly, that was about the generation of computer. Now we will go into some technical how to give instruction to the computer. That I have said, you know, that computer you can type something. What is the meaning of typing? Means many things when you write together, it's called typing, and otherwise if you just press a button, it's called the pressing a button. So just last 5 minutes or so, then we can close this. So C arithmetic operator. What is here C? C is a computer language. Computer language means this is the combination of alphabet. When I am speaking to you, I am making some combination of alphabet. I am not saying any absurd combination of alphabet. Yes or no? I am saying something good communication using grammar. Similarly, computer also require grammar. So there are grammar, and this grammar is, one of these grammar is called C grammar. There are many grammars. If you have heard of Java, if you have heard of Android, you have heard of Android, you have heard of Java, some of you must have heard of Python. Some of you must have heard of JavaScript. Some of you must have heard of Visual Basic, VB. Some of you must have heard of C Sharp or C Hash. Some of you must have heard of Ruby, Rails. Many things, many grammars are there which computer can understand. One of these grammar is the C. This is the very popular. So here let us see some of the meaning in this grammar. So in English, like we have a grammar, we have meaning. So in this particular C grammar, that this grammar you can use and type keyboard in the using the keyboard. You can type and the computer will give you answers. So let us see what is this grammar. In this grammar, if you have a plus symbol, it means addition. If you have a minus symbol, it means subtraction. If we have a star symbol, star means the multiplication. If we have the star symbol, it means the multiplication. If you have the slash symbol, it means the division. If you have the percentage symbol, it is called the modulo division. So all is same, only thing is the multiplication. It is instead of the x, you will use the star. You will use the star. And modulo division is the remainder of division. It's the symbol is percentage. So it is nothing, just a small example of what is the how to means how to give instruction. So here is a just a example. No need to understand it A to Z, but briefly I will explain. A is equal to 9, B is equal to 4. Then what is the C? You have to find. So C can be sometime A plus B. After doing A plus B, you are doing printf. Printf means print in the screen. Printf, it will print in the screen. Okay, printf is the instruction to print in the screen. So what it is going to print? It is going to print C. What is C? C is A plus B. Then again, sometimes C can be A minus B. And after doing A minus B, printf C. And sometimes C can be A multiply B. So A star B. A is, this is the symbol, multiply symbol, A star B. Then printf C. Printf C means the answer of A star B will print. Then C, what is C? C can be sometime, C is equal to, that is the meaning I am saying, C is sometime. So C is equal to, C is sometime equal to A by B, A slash B, A divided by B. Then after doing it, printf C. Printf C means print in the monitor, print in the screen. C can be A divided by B, A percentage B means the modulo B, modulo division. Modulo division means when you divide a number, the remainder is the answer. Okay, generally when you divide a number, suppose you divide 10 by 2, answer is the 5. When you have the percentage modulo division, answer is 0. Why 0? Remainder. When you divide 10 divided by 2, 5, 5 into 2, 10, 10 minus 10, remainder is 0. So in the when you write A percentage B, answer will come 0. So here we have the A is equal to 9, B is equal to 4. Then what will be the percentage answer? 9 divided by 4. Percentage answer will be, actually it is not called percentage. It is called, it is looks like percentage, but in the C grammar it is not called percentage. It is called modulo division. So what is the modulo division doing? So 4 into 2, 4 into 2 is 8. So 9 minus 8, 1. 1 is the remainder. So 1 will be the answer. Finally, this particular C grammar, you cannot write C grammar in your desktop. There is a particular place in your computer which you open and you write your C grammar. So you don't have to be afraid. You can type anything in your keyboard you want. Only thing is that when you open the C grammar, then only it will perform. Otherwise, if you type ABCD, no such action will take in place. If you write C is equal to A plus B, Don't have to be means you don't have to be afraid that your computer will not be damaged. You can type very freely like you are doing your normal task. This particular grammar is accepted by the computer only when you open the C grammar software. Okay, so you have to download the C grammar software, then only your computer will understand the C grammar software. Otherwise you can use your computer like you are using as it is. No hamper will be happening. You don't have to be afraid. Like I said here, if you press the ls, so before pressing the ls I have to open this black box, then only ls grammar is understand and ls grammar will be understood. So otherwise you can simply type ls, nothing, no problem, nothing will happen. So that much security you have, you don't have to be worried about. So this is what the C grammar will give the result when you write this everything complete, and when you write it, so C grammar will give the result a plus b is equal to 13, a minus b 5, a into b 3, a divided by b 2, and a divided by b remainder modulus operation equal to 1. Okay, so this is a example how computer system works using grammar, that is you call the C grammar. In your syllabus only one example is required, so that is all. In exam only this question will come, so you can read this easily. Some 10 lines or something is there. So it is nothing, a plus b, a minus b, a into c, a by b, and doing printing, doing the printing. So C grammar is very beneficial to those who are studying computer science to manage the computer system from for doing many purpose, for doing many tasks. Most of you must be having experience of C programming or at least one computer programming in your from your school level. Nowadays computers are essential in school also. Things are very much like a general knowledge nowadays. Computer is not subject of much specialization like it was used to be 20 years ago, where specialized degree was required. Now school students also know very nicely what is a computer and what is the difference between a software, what is the difference between a hardware. So this particular C grammar that you see is called a software, because you can modify this plus symbol, is minus symbol, this multiply symbol, divide symbol. It is not a hardware. Hardware means something which you cannot modify. It is fixed. Once you buy it, you buy it. That is why when the 5G technology will come, you have to change your mobile phone, because 5G is a hardware based technology. Like 3G, 3G is a hardware based SIM card. So SIM card, you cannot upgrade your SIM card, you have to change your SIM card. Similarly 3G from 2G phone come 3G phone, you sell your 3G phone, you buy a 4G phone. Now after 2 years 5G will come, you buy phone, you get a 5G phone. After 2 years 6G will come, you sell that phone, buy a 6G phone. There is no other way. Hardware you cannot change it, but software, Android, you can upgrade. You can upgrade from Android 8. Suppose you started in Android 8, you can upgrade in Android 9, you can upgrade Android 10, you can upgrade some antivirus, you can upgrade your WhatsApp, you can upgrade your Facebook. You don't have to change your mobile phone for that. That is the software that you can manage. So the name soft, that you can remember, soft means something which you can manage. Hard means something you cannot. So your hardware you cannot change, you cannot upgrade, you cannot modify. You can repair it, but you cannot upgrade it to a certain extent, but not completely. That is the why the name hardware is given. That is, it is the hard that you can remember.